All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Owen Fritzen here back with you. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're back here now. We do have a new tornado warning. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for those of you in the Mid-Ohio Valley. We're back here. We're live. Apologies there for the little bit of technical difficulties. It is the 11th, not the 7th. That was on me as I did not get the titles to update. But we do have a new tornado warning here. Let's go ahead and get started for you. Let's go ahead and read this tornado warning. It's a continuance of the one just north that we did not think they were going to reissue. They went until the very last second to reissue this. They issued at 3:59. The other tornado warning was expected to expire at 4 o'clock, so they waited long enough to reissue that. But they went ahead and reissued it. The National Weather Service has reissued it for southwestern Mahoning County until 4:45. They say at 3:58 there's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Sebring, or 9 miles northwest of Salem, moving east at 25 miles an hour. Radar indicated rotation. This storm will be near Columbiana around 4:30. Other locations impacted include Ellsworth, Berlin Center, and Greenford. Again, if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter, get to the lowest level of your house, and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you don't have a basement or such structure, again, lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of that mobile home, get to the nearest sturdy structure. Same thing if you're driving as well. We are seeing quite a bit of looking at a couple things here, some of the differences on this. We are seeing a little bit of this inflow notch where they're potentially showing some of this tornadic activity. And we'll kind of show you here. This is very messy. I'm going to tell you that straightforward. So if we turn over to winds going towards the radar and winds going away from the radar, this is one of those deals where it's kind of in a linear fashion. And if we had any tornado activity, it's going to be kind of embedded in this long line here. You can kind of see this greens and reds twisting right in this general area. This is very broad, so it's even hard to pinpoint on this one. It's been hard to pinpoint here with this one as well. So again, make sure you respect the polygon. There is a tornado warning again until 4:45 here for southwestern Mahoning County. It does not include Youngstown. It includes portions of Boardman there and even portions of Salem potentially there. And it's coming towards Columbiana, and it could be in some of those areas as well, depending if this continues or not moving forward. So again, this was a warning that was a continuation from the warning that was issued earlier for portions of Portage and Mahoning County. We were kind of debating. I didn't think they were going to reissue it, but they waited till the last minute and reissued it. So again, kind of this embedded rotation here, and I'm going to actually turn off here 1 second. I'm going to turn off this warning box. I know it looks kind of misconstrues some things there with the red. I'll turn off that warning box for you. You could kind of see this is very broad rotation. This is something we'd have a very, very hard time picking up, but it is moving in the correct direction, and it does have enough wind shear that they went ahead and issued a tornado warning based on some other things that they're seeing as well. If we look at some other products behind this, let's go ahead and turn on if we look at just regular velocity, that's very ugly to look at. It's very hard to see as well. You can't hardly see it on what's going on. If we look at our correlation coefficient, you got a couple things there. Nothing totally out of line from what we're seeing. If I turn back on reflectivity, looking right in this general area, but that looks fairly normal at this point. And you're seeing some hail with this as well, so that's a good indication that we are It's definitely tall enough here. We're getting into some of those atmospheric conditions that we could have tornadoes, and getting a decent look at it as well. So, if you are in the area, Sebring is not safe, so you need to make sure that you're in your tornado safe shelter. You are a part of this. Sebring, you're just to the south of this, but you are close, and in portions, you may have a Sebring address and you're in the polygon, so I can't really say that. But in Sebring, I would say you are not safe. You need to be in your tornado safe shelter. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning for those in the Mid Ohio Valley. Let's go ahead and flip down there, kind of flip back and forth with this one. So if you're in the Mid Ohio Valley watching us down here, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Just getting ready to cross over the Ohio River. This one looks fairly healthy as far as a storm cell goes. Looks a lot healthier than the one up to the north as far as a severe thunderstorm warning goes. We have a this warning here down to the south. I'll zoom out here in just a minute. Is for northeastern Monroe County, southeastern Belmont County, west central Greene County, north central Wetzel, and Marshall County at 445. They're saying radar indicated 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Minor hail and damage to vehicles is possible. Let's go ahead and zoom that out for you just a little bit. We're down in southeast Ohio, and you can kind of see it encompasses quite a bit as far as county-wise here, but just out of Powhatan Point, I think is how I say it, right? Sorry if I butchered that. Bealsville and Moundsville, but you can see these really dark, deep purples right in this general area here, indicative of some hail that's falling there for you all, and probably some really good rain showers as well. But 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail with that particular storm. So let's zoom back into our tornado warning in progress here, and I think I'm going to leave the radar here on Pittsburgh. Let's go ahead and kind of take a look here. This is becoming more of a linear threat, in my opinion. And I'll go ahead and flip over to base velocity. Yeah, it's very messy. It's very, very messy to look at. We really like to look at the storm relative velocity on these things here too, and that is messy as well. So, Powhatan. Hey, I got it right. Sorry, Powhatan. I'll try to remember that. It's been a long day for me. I'm on the mend here. I had COVID this week, so I'm trying to get my thoughts straight. I'm still a little bit sick, so we're trying to get it straight. That's why I wasn't live the other night with the long stretch tornadoes. Feeling a little bit better today. But nevertheless, if you have a tornado, if you're in the tornado warning, you again need to seek shelter. Get as to the lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in Boardman, you're just on the border of this. Even portions of Boardman probably are in it. Canfield, you're in it. Columbiana, you're probably in it. Portions of Salem, probably in it as well. So that's one of those things that you need to make sure that you seek shelter and stay away from windows. This is one of those things that we're seeing on this storm, and I'm kind of looking at some things behind this. We're seeing some very brief spin-ups and very brief rotations. These are one of those things that the National Weather Service is going to warn for based on the fact of history with these type of storms. They're very quick, very brief spin-ups. And lately we've seen so many spin-ups that have caused minor damage that maybe some of those potentially weren't warned. They're going to go ahead and try to give you as much notice as they can. So this is saying, hey, this storm could potentially produce a brief spin-up tornado. You can kind of see here this latest radar scan, and we're looking out of Pittsburgh, so we're looking fairly quite a ways away here. You can see this dark, deep purple as well on radar and reflectivity, so that's indicative of some very strong hail. So that's something that we're going to keep in mind as well. So let's go ahead and zoom out here just a little bit here. I just want to flip over to something else. I know that doesn't look right for you all. Yeah, that means it's being sucked up pretty good. I'm looking at something here too, and I'm going to turn this off. This is kind of wind shear and kind of what we're seeing as far as shear goes. And right in that general area, we are seeing some decent amount of wind shear there as well. So I know that doesn't look maybe what you want to see, and some gate-to-gate shear back here. It's possible. So let's go ahead and turn back on reflectivity. Back here in the southern portion of that storm, southwestern portion of that storm, kind of our general area that we're kind of looking at anyway. Go ahead and turn on the tornado warning again for you. And then we'll flip this back over here for our base reflectivity, kind of see it here on the backside, but this is generally broad all over. And even if I turn on storm relative, you can kind of see it back here starting to get going. This wasn't there a few minutes ago. It was on the front side. So we're kind of going back and forth here on where the rotation is at. So nevertheless, if you're in this area, you need to seek shelter and get to the nearest tornado-safe shelter, get to the lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We're going to continue to say that because it is important. You need to know where to go during a tornado. We can't stress that enough as far as we see a lot of people that don't know where to go. Again, know where to go. Get to the basement if you have it or the lowest level of your house and get away from windows, especially with hail as well. We're seeing some small hail with this, but if hail is being thrown more, and I say a linear type fashion, but with the wind gusts that we're seeing today, it almost is like pelts and can pelt against the side of a house or something, and you could have some damage and broken windows, and that's not good for anybody. And yeah, you don't want that to happen. So we never want that to happen with you at all as well. So make sure, again, know where to go during a tornado. It's a very, very important. We want to make sure that you are safe. Coming back to our tornado warning in progress here, this is kind of what we got going on. Starting to see some really dark, deep purples with this. So this is indicative of some hail that's going on here with this storm, and we're kind of waiting to see what's going on here with it as well. It's moving at 15 or so miles an hour. So it's not moving that fast, but we are seeing some decent-sized hail, and we could see some minor rotation with this and a lot of brief spin-ups that have potentially occurred over the past several days. The atmospheric conditions are right with the amount of wind shear that we have today throughout Ohio, and we could see a brief spin-up or two. So that's kind of why they're warning that one. And again, I'll come back down here. We have our warnings down for down in the Mid-Ohio Valley. Let's go ahead and flip on Pittsburgh for you. I think I'm on Pittsburgh. Let me go ahead and flip back to zoom in here to Pittsburgh for you. Powhatan Point. I think I got that one right this time. Still right over you down in that area. Some stronger hail just to the south of you. Some deep dark purple. So that's very indicative of some hail and some heavy rain showers. So out ahead of this one, this warning goes again until 4:45 as well. So severe thunderstorm warning. Radar indicated 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and they're saying quarter-size hail by the National Weather Service. Max hail is 1 inch according to radar right now, and very slow movers today. Very, very slow movers. Let's go ahead and flip back up. We got a couple other storms, and I'll kind of just say zoomed out here for just a minute. All across northeast Ohio today, we're seeing these popcorn-type storms that are what we're looking at here throughout the day. So we're seeing these popcorn-type storms that continue to move off to the east, and they could produce a brief spin-up as well. A new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued for Columbiana County until 5 o'clock. This is the newest one that be popping up here down to the south. So let's go ahead and zoom out here for you just a little bit. You'll see that one also pop up here in just a few minutes. It's a little bit laggy here today as well. So we're looking at that here just out ahead of that. There's your severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of this. The good thing with that is we kind of got two different storm cells here, but this one wasn't tagged tornado possible. So what we do have is this linear threat, the straight line threat, and it is moving off towards the east. I'll put this into motion for you, kind of looking here, kind of moving east-southeast just a little bit as it pushes off into Pennsylvania, which is out of our coverage area. You kind of see east-southeast depending on where you're at, but this one here definitely has some pretty decent hail core with it. Let's go ahead and flip it back to current, but this one has a pretty decent hail core size, hail probability of 80%, and some straight line winds possible with this one as well. But we're keeping an eye on this one as well for some other things with that. Looking again, if we're looking at base velocity, it's very messy today, very murky today. So this comes on to a lot of experience here on the forecaster radar operator today and what they're seeing with that. But this is the tornado warning. We're looking at the winds that are going towards the radar site and away from the radar site. We're currently at Pittsburgh. So we're looking here, the green's going towards Pittsburgh, which is down this direction, and red going away from it. So if we have rotation, generalized rotation is going to be down here in this general area right by Salem. So we'll have to wait and see here what's going on if they decide to reissue that downstream or not. They got that one going till 4:45, so I'm not 100% sure if they're going to reissue that as well. But we do have generalized thunderstorms across the rest of the area, and even down here, some of our southern counties. Again, you can see some really deep, dark purple down here in Powhatan Point. I'll say it right eventually one of these days. But you kind of see that as well. You also see some stuff, even down here, if I zoom out just a little bit down here into Ritchie County. Flip back over here and see if Charleston's got a better shot at this. And let's go ahead and zoom in here just 1 second here. Down in Ritchie County, this one kind of teeter-totters here just a little bit. They got 80% hail, but yeah, it's not, the winds aren't with this one as strong, but we're seeing a lot of wind. So it just depends. So that's what we got going on down there. Let's go ahead and zoom back up here. We're kind of in the middle of a radar dead site. I want to check out Cleveland for just a minute. So if you're in that area, see if the Cleveland radar looks a little bit better. It actually looks a lot better there on the latest scan. You could see, yeah, we're still seeing that generalized rotation right here. So just outside of Salem. So if you were just outside of Salem, yep, this is the area that I would be concerned with as far as rotation right now. And if I flip over to storm relative velocity, if we flip over, yeah, that's what we're kind of seeing, some generalized rotation right there. And again, I'll flip back over to regular base velocity. You can kind of see right in this area, just outside of Salem. I can zoom in just to the north of Salem, maybe on the outskirts, probably a Salem address, State Route 165 and 45. That's where we're seeing the broad amount of rotation at this point right now. So if you're down in Washingtonville and Latonia, I believe is how you say that one, even portions of Salem here, you need to be in your tornado-safe shelter at this point. Even in Columbiana, because I have a feeling if this continues to stay like this, they'll issue another tornado warning downstream of this. And Columbiana, you are kind of right in the track of that particular storm if it continues to hold together. Let me look at one thing here real quick. I was just turning off this so you kind of see. I turn off the tornado warning for just a second. You kind of see that broad rotation right there for you. We'll go ahead and turn that back on as well. Let's see, one other thing here. If I can flip back over. Go ahead and go back to reflectivity. It's kind of moving east, southeast, more of a general easterly track right now. And let's go ahead and that really kicked it, this latest one here. All right. Give me 1 second. So I just turned on a storm track cell. Just don't get confused here too much on that. I know that's you're probably like, oh, what is that? Let me go and flip that over to white. All right. So this general storm cell they got moving basically southeast now at 15. Let me go and turn that off because you all get confused if I don't. So generally southeast at this point, and let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, about 15 is what we got. So let's go ahead and put it right about, it's moving. Latest one, gone in that. Yep, we'll go right about here. So here's what we got going on here. If it will populate. For some reason it's not populating, I apologize. Let's go ahead and try that again. So it's being a little bit difficult, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. So if we're Let's just kind of zoom in here. Just outside of Columbiana, about 452 is what they're saying if it holds together. And just downstream of this, about 515. So it's moving about 15 miles an hour at this point. It's moving very slowly. And the latest scan that come in really has broadened that out. But we still have just that one particular area here, right in that general area of Salem. So that's what we're keeping our eye on. I continue to watch this right outside of 165. I haven't got an update in a moment or two. And we're waiting the next scan. It looked like that one failed. So I'm waiting to see here. We are behind a scan, so maybe not sure what's going on. Let's go ahead and flip back to Pittsburgh real quick and see. Much better here. So looking from Pittsburgh, I know it's a little bit different track for you, but looking out of Pittsburgh here, you kind of see this storm cell right general area here. This is the area of rotation that we're looking at, but the nice thing is, if there is some nice thing, is it looks like this is kind of bounding with another storm, and hopefully with that, it will. What happens is usually chokes itself off, means it gets in its updraft area and eventually becomes more of a linear threat. But if we kind of see this merging right now, but if we're still looking at this again, right outside of Salem, and this general area was where we're still looking for some rotation, and we'll continue to look here just on this other little inflow notch that's starting to create just north of Columbiana. We're still going to watch it here as well. So kind of seeing the one back towards Salem is kind of null at this point. Now we're looking at a new area of rotation as these storms kind of converge right here near 165 and State Route 11. We're kind of looking at it right in this general area. Again, this is very, very broad rotation. This is borderline whether they would issue a tornado warning or not. They went ahead and issued it based on the fact that they could see a brief, quick spin tornado today. So they're doing this more as a precautionary measure, and we will respect that polygon. So if you're in that polygon, make sure you get to the lowest level of your house and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's important. Cover your neck and head. Again, very murky at best, I should say. But again, the National Weather Service, this goes a lot, as I talked about before, this goes a lot based on experience as the radar operator and what they've seen and continue to see in trends, especially as kind of seeing this murky type radar today. And a lot of this is because we're seeing a lot of wind gusts today. We're seeing 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts across Ohio. So it's very hard to decipher some of this rotation that's going in opposite directions. So they're having to rely on some other things as well to look at this type of rotation today. And there's just enough spin on these that they potentially could spin a brief tornado. Now, the good thing is there's not been a update on this in quite a while, so the National Weather Service hasn't updated this. Usually if they're getting ground truth or they're getting anything outside of these storms, they continue to push updates for it and continue to update the tornado warning. And we're seeing it trim back, but there's nothing that's been added to it. So that's a good sign. It means it's generalized rotation. They're not seeing anything else downstream of this. This got another 15 minutes or so. But again, that's a good sign. Also, the new severe thunderstorm warning here for you. Quickly cover that real quick. For our coverage area, it is just Columbiana County. We don't cover any of the Pennsylvania counties. So just Columbiana County. And this one's pushing off here, East Palestine and Columbiana. You're getting some rain right now, but just outside East Palestine here, I'll zoom in even further. New Waterford, you're in on the action here. Some pretty strong wind gusts, probably on the leading edge of this, moving over towards Pennsylvania as it's leaving the state. And we'll put this into motion real quick. You got to see it moving northeast in this particular storm. You see this taking a little bit change of direction now as well as these two boundaries are coming together. But on the leading edge of this, probably seeing some strong winds. Not seeing a large hail like we were seeing a little bit ago, but you're seeing some small hail there potentially. We'll put that, could see less than ½ inch is what they're saying on this particular storm cell. So that's kind of what we got going on at this point. Kind of just broad. And today I could tell you, as I have been sleeping, as some of you knew earlier, I have COVID right now. So this is sometimes it's even hard for me to talk. But I'm doing my best here, drinking a lot of water. But as I woke up this morning, actually later in the morning, I had a little bit of sleet, if you will, some grapple falling down almost. It was kind of weird at my house because of we're seeing this wind and just cold enough conditions for that freezing line to happen. So that's kind of what we're seeing here as well. Well, we got a pause. I want to say a pause for the cause. I'm going to zoom back down here in portions of the coverage area. Let's go down here to our Mid-Ohio Valley friends. If you're down here, this storm is pretty much, the latest scan pretty much died off. And this happens down here in this mountainous areas. Didn't expect to last too long. So for portions of Wetzel and Marshall County, down here and our friends in Marshall and Wetzel County, this one's pretty much over. This one's really choked itself off right now. That one expires at 4:45 as well. Wouldn't be surprised if that one goes early. Even across the rest of the state, I should say, here on the eastern portion of the state, over here by Cadiz, you're seeing some stronger storms as well. And I say storms, but again, not even lightning at these storms, but showers, if you will. So for our friends over here in Harrison County and Jefferson County, and even maybe portions here of Carroll County, just the tip of Carrollton County, you're seeing a little bit here of some strong storms. Not a lot of hail going on there, but definitely these could potentially hit that criteria of over 60 at some point. So we have to wait and see. They might be some pop-up severe thunderstorm warnings based on the winds here today. And looking at even storms back here near Canton firing up, and again, showers, I should say. Seeing a little bit larger hail here near Canton, but again, a lot of this due to some of those strong winds that are moving through here today as it continues to move off towards the east here at about 15 miles an hour. We do have a new update here. Let's check it out. New tornado warning for Mahoning County. So they went in and issued it again. So here we go. At 4:32, they went ahead and issued it a little bit earlier this time. The National Weather Service out of Cleveland has issued a tornado warning for Mahoning County until 5:15. Radar indicated rotation. And, yeah, there we go. So, again, they went ahead, basically reissued this tornado warning. You'll see it pop up on your screen here in just a minute. Cadiz, sorry, I'll get it right at some point in my life. But new tornado warning here issued for you in portions of Mahoning County just outside of this. So once more again, they have decided to elect to reissue this. If we flip over here, let's go ahead and flip back over to base reflectivity. Yeah, kind of see as these two boundaries collided, okay, you kind of see this rotation shifted. This one choked itself off in the back, but here in the front, you can kind of see some of this get sucked up in and rotating right in here, kind of being that classic hook. So that's where you're going to see the tornado warning here in just a minute. I kind of see here just in that generalized hook area, they went ahead and reissued a tornado warning. And again, it'll pop up on your screen here in just a minute. Warnings are being delayed today. I'm not sure what's going on there, but wouldn't be surprised. Lowellville, yes, there is a new tornado warning out for Mahoning County. And again, it will be popping up here in just a minute. It was just issued till 5:15. We'll see. I'm not sure why it's not populating just yet, but it will be there in just a minute. Yeah, not sure why the radar products got it behind today. National Weather Service had a lot of issues lately with some of their infrastructure. Let's see here. There we go. I might have been user error. I'm sick and didn't hit play. So here we go. There we go. Thank you for the tip on the backside there. My friend's making sure I don't totally bomb myself here, being sick. Here we go. Here's the new tornado warning that was issued. Kind of see generalized rotation all over, but it would be in this general area. That's why they went and reissued this. So Lowellville, maybe portions of it. You're close to it, so that's probably why it's the sirens are going off there. But this is what we got going on right now. So this would be the last stop here for this particular cell before it moves off into Pennsylvania. And once it moves into Pennsylvania, it's no longer our coverage area. But this general area right back here, again, and I'll just kind of zoom in as close as I can get it here on I-76. Very broad rotation. Again, we're not seeing, and I'll flip over to a couple other things here for you. Correlation coefficient, that's just generalized stuff there. I'm not seeing much in the area of rotation. Let's go ahead and flip over to SRV real quick. Generalized rotation. So a lot of this is just general rotation, and even looking at what they're saying here behind the scenes, again, generalized rotation here. So just because of, and even the latest scan, you can see it just almost choked itself out. Generalized rotation coming off here on this classic, little bit of a hook here, kind of see that. I know it's very hard to see, very murky to see. But if we flip over to reflectivity, or excuse me, velocity, this gives us the best shot of that. Very generalized and broad rotation. So New Middletown, if you're in that, you need to seek shelter. Yeah, in the basement, that's a good thing, Jennifer. I appreciate you being in the basement. In Lowellville, the problem with this too is it's so generalized today that we've seen rotations in many different spots. We've seen it on the back side of the storm, and then it flips over to the front side of the storm, especially as this is taking a turn a little bit towards the north. So we're seeing the rotation, and we're seeing everything as far as the storm motion turn just a little bit. And as it turns, again, we now create rotation on the front side of the storm as well. So in Lowellville, it's probably a good call just in case this goes just a little bit to the north. Again, very broad rotation. You need to respect that polygon and to get into your tornado-safe shelter. If you don't have a basement, get to the lowest level of your house, or if you do have a basement, get in the basement, get to the lowest level of your house, and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's important. Make sure that you cover your neck and head. That's the most important part, is to cover the neck and head. If you're in a tornado, or excuse me, if you're in a mobile home park, you need to get out of those and get to the nearest tornado-safe shelter that you can. Same thing with driving. A lot of times here, too, today, you're not going to see a lot what's going on here. And the reason is, if I turn back on reflectivity, look at this. It's rain-wrapped. I guarantee you're not going to get any good look of any type of tornado today if you're out there. The reason is there's so much rain that's falling right now, very intense rain that's falling. You're not going to be able to see it. So the smartest thing, again, is to be in your tornado-safe shelter. So just south of Youngstown here, for our friends in Mahoning County, if you're just joining us, I'll kind of zoom out here and give you an overview of what's going on. We're in the far eastern portion of the state, moving towards Pennsylvania. We do have a couple tornado warnings that are in effect right now. The first one goes for another 5 minutes, and then the reissuance goes until 5:15. So we are going to zoom back in here. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning also in play for our friends down in the Mid-Ohio Valley. That one's pretty much dead down there. There ain't much going on as far as severe winds or any type of hail anymore. That one's pretty much gone. But we are going to focus our impacts here for Mahoning County that have these two severe thunderstorm warnings. And then we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Columbiana County as well. That goes until 5:15, or excuse me, this one goes until 5 o'clock. The one in the south goes till 5:15. The one here for northeastern Columbiana County goes until 5 o'clock, and it's moving east at about 40 miles an hour. And I don't even know if that's right. They say 40, and it's moving a lot slower than that right now. So this is what we got going on here. This for Columbiana County, again, till 5 o'clock. We do not cover. This is the state of Pennsylvania over here. We do not cover Pennsylvania. And we do have our two tornado warnings. This first tornado warning box to your left here in Mahoning County, just south of Youngstown, goes until 4:45. They went ahead and reissued it. This other tornado warning box goes until 5:15, and it does include portions of Boardman, probably Lowellville, I believe. If you have an address there, I don't know how the zip codes work there. New Middleton, portions of New Middleton in that area, but and even portions of Columbiana as well. So again, one of these things about this, like I said, looking at just the radar right now, just looking at this general radar, it's rain wrapped for you. I can tell you, so you're not going to see anything. We're not even seeing hail on this one anymore. It seems to be lightened up just a little bit as far as the hail goes. But let's go back to base velocity. Again, generalized rotation. Very generalized rotation here. Very broad rotation. Especially if you're in New Middletown, I should say. This is the area I'd be concerned with, and south of Boardman and Columbiana. So right here, just need to be in your tornado safe shelters for a few more minutes as this storm passes. Even the progression of the one here for the severe thunderstorm warning, that one pretty much has moved out. So you guys down here in Columbiana County and East Palestine, that one pretty much has moved off into Pennsylvania right now. So I wouldn't be surprised that they trim this watch back or this warning back on the next update when they do update that. That goes again until 5 o'clock. So again, it's important that you make sure that you seek shelter and you stay in your tornado safe shelter. A lot of people don't know where to go during a tornado, believe it or not. They don't know where to go during a tornado. So you need to make sure that you are in your tornado safe shelter, where to go. Don't go on the top floor. Make sure you get to the lowest level of your house. Get your emergency kit, go with you. If you have exterior rooms with windows, try not to go in those unless it's a last resort. You need to get in that interior room and stay away from windows. That is the most important part. And the reason is that can protect you. All right, make sure that you get into that particular area. Inside, lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That's the most important part during a tornado. Believe it or not, many people would rather go outside and film a tornado instead of seeking shelter. And unfortunately, a lot of people have lost their lives doing that. So don't do that, especially today. It's rain wrapped. You're not going to see it. I promise you today you won't see it if it does happen. Right now it's very broad rotation, but you're not going to see it. Also, you can download our app if you're having a way or you need a way to receive warnings. This is just one way of several apps that you can have and weather radios and things. You can download our app in the App Store. You can download it by searching Ohio News and Weather in the App Store or on the Google Play Store. Free of charge, we do it for you. It's absolutely free. You can set on and customize alerts for your area, rain, lightning, etc. All those things are customizable. You just got to hit that little gear icon and customize your alert settings for your particular area or across the nation if you want to set other areas as well. So you have plenty of ways here that you can receive warnings. Our app is just one of those ways, not the only way. Weather radios are also a fantastic tool as well. It's not the only way, but it is one of those ways. You can also track radar right alongside with us here at Ohio News and Weather. So again, joining us here, kind of zooming out here just a little bit. I'll zoom out here. We're in the eastern portion of the state, just getting ready to cross into Pennsylvania, which is out of our coverage area here. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Columbiana County, but for all intents and purposes, that is outside of our coverage area now into Pennsylvania. We do have this tornado warning. The first tornado warning is going to expire here in just 1 minute or so. It should pretty much be expired at this point. As we have our latest update in, you can see it's pretty much crossing out of the tornado warned area out of the first polygon, so that one will expire. I don't know. We'll see what happens here on this next one, if they decide to pick it up into Pennsylvania or not. Very broad. If we look at our base velocity, this is what we're looking at. It's muddy, and it's murky, and it doesn't look good. A lot of this dealing with the winds today that we're seeing, but we have just enough rotation and just enough shear in the atmosphere that based on some of the history and trends of some of these storms, they're going to go ahead and issue that tornado warning just to be on the safe side. I'm looking here behind the scenes here. Don't know. Trying to see if we got anything coming on. I don't see anything. I'm looking at reports and anything. I don't see much. I can tell you that. Not that we're going to discredit this, but we are going to respect that polygon just in case, because there's been too many tornadoes that have happened. Not sure what happened to my radar there. That have happened, and we've had issues. So we've had issues there where these quick spin ups happen, and it's just one of those things that they're gonna issue kind of out of precaution here. We're trying to get Pittsburgh reloaded here. I'm not sure what happened. If I had a fellow forecaster on here, I hope nothing happened at the airport. Let's see if it'll load here. Yeah, let's turn on live scan quick. All right, there we go. Got it back. Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on there with that one. But even now, it's even more murky on the latest scan that just came through. So in New Middleton, that's where we're at. I don't want to say come out of your tornado safe shelters at this point. That's not what I'm advocating. Um, but again, this is looking less and less than what it was. I even look at our debris wall tracker, not seeing much in the way of that at all. And but we still have just enough spin here and just enough shear in the atmosphere to get these going. So again, not seeing what we were seeing at all. By the way, we've seen some of this throughout the day, but when I got over here to Mahoning County, that's when the warnings started, and even a portion of Portage County, that's when the warnings started as well. They trimmed the polygon back here on the tornado warning. You can see. So you can see they trimmed that back. So if you're in Salem, it's okay to come out of your tornado safe shelter. Canfield, you are now in the all clear. Sebring in the all clear as well. Boardman, you're kind of in a zone where I wouldn't quite come out just yet. Portions of Boardman, you're probably still under the tornado warning. Loelville, you're still, portions of it probably still under the tornado warning. New Middleton, yes, you're in the tornado warning still. Portions of Columbiana as well. You need to make sure that you are staying in your tornado safe shelter as well. They trimmed this back just a little bit. And again, this goes until 5 o'clock. This tornado warning goes till 5:15. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5. I wouldn't be surprised that they issue this or issue a cancellation on this one. I think once this crosses out of this polygon here, which it almost is, they go ahead and drop this. One thing I will say is a general trend too. Let me back out here and put on reflectivity. Let's go ahead and put this into motion for you as well. Let me load it up here. You kind of see kind of the general direction. These storms are going on an easterly direction here today, east-southeast just a little bit. But with this storm, you can kind of see one of the things that we kind of pick up on here is it's speeding up a lot. I know it's hard to see a little bit on that radar, but it's hard to see, but it is picking up quite a bit. Okay, we have a new tornado warning for Columbiana County. Just as I said, that probably is going to drop off. All right. Well, here we go. Just outside of Columbiana County, we have a new tornado warning for you, the portion of our coverage area. This tornado warning goes until 5:15. So what they have done on this, just so you know, you see this general area down here. Let me see if I can get my telestration tool to work. This area right here, this little feller that's just created on the latest scanner too, this little guy is what's tripped the alarm for Columbiana County. Over here is Pennsylvania. Not saying we don't care about Pennsylvania, but we do not cover Pennsylvania. But right here for portions of our friends in Columbiana County, yep, you now have a tornado warning in effect because of this little fella right here. So as it's moving east-southeast, this is the general area that we're looking at. Let's turn over base velocity. It's murky, but let's look here at SRV. Yeah, it matches up. You got to remember things are not going to match exactly on radar, but looking at it right there, yep, there it is. Just for this little fella right here. And I apologize, a little loopy here for you today, but I have COVID, so I'm first time back here in a while. I wasn't on the other night with you due to having COVID. I'm on the rebound now, so I apologize for that. So right here, looking here in Columbiana County, you can kind of see they reissued it based on this little fact right here. And that's going to just, as it's traipsing just to the southeast here as it moves off into Pennsylvania. That's why just a little bit of an area they went ahead and issued that. And it's a good call. And it's a very good call, actually. And the nice thing is, too, looking at this as well. Yeah, just kind of looking at some things here, too. We're on a border area, so another thing that potentially also happens is we are right on the edge of a warning forecast area. So down here in Columbiana County, this is covered by the National Weather Service out of Pittsburgh. Up here in Mahoning County, this is covered out of Cleveland. So again, Middleton, New Middleton, if you're in that area, that's basically the area that you need to seek shelter. Even portions of Columbiana, you need to seek shelter as well. Even in kind of portions of Boardman and Poland, those areas, you're all under this generalized tornado warning right now. A lot of broad rotation that we're seeing here, and they went ahead, the National Weather Service out of Pittsburgh went ahead and issued that just for the South. Michelle Cameron, it is, it's Ohio News and Weather. So that's where we're at. I know it says Bell Park Weather Network, but this is for Ohio. We cover Ohio, portions of Indiana, and West Virginia. So Youngstown, again, you can hear me not getting overly excited, and it's because of the fact that it's very, very weak as far as rotation. Very, very weak. But portions of Columbiana County, they went ahead and issued a tornado warning here for you based on the fact that it's kind of traipsing to the east-southeast, as I've been mentioning. So as we move east-southeast, that's why. So this would be moving out of the area here fairly quickly. They got this picking up steam here a little bit too, which is a good thing. So they got it moving about 17. So if I even put a track on that, it doesn't even track here until New Beaver, which is 534. So it's pretty much going to be out of our coverage area here fairly quickly and off into Pennsylvania. All across Ohio, let's go ahead and zoom out while we got a second here. All across Ohio here, you're seeing, especially in eastern Ohio, seeing these kind of multi-cell cluster type storms, or I like to call them popcorn type storms that are popping up with some small hail today, not even a lot of thunder at all. I don't even know if the lightning count on these are all very low, but you're seeing these dark purples because of hail. But a lot of it is just some rain, heavy rain showers, and just enough spin in the atmosphere that's been over Mahoning County for, seems to be forever now, over the last hour or so. Some generalized broad rotation, and we're seeing every scan's a little bit different, seeing a little bit here on the inflow on the front and here on the backside. We continue to see that. Flip over to reflectivity. Getting a pretty good return here now, which we just flipped over here just outside of Columbiana. That's interesting. We'll keep an eye on this one right here. So you can kind of see right here. Zoom out just a little bit. Right where that rotation is lined up. To keep an eye on it. I don't know if it's just a bad radar return or what. But right in this general area, it matches up where there is some rotation. Here comes a scan. And it's not there anymore as the latest scan just swiped over. But so we'll go back to base velocity. It's still there on base velocity. Maybe that scan hasn't updated. But right in that general area, seeing a little bit of rotation there. Let's go ahead and look at correlation coefficient is showing a little bit of something right in that general area as well. So right on the line, probably a good call from Pittsburgh to issue that tornado warning. Right on the line here of Mahoning County and Columbiana County. So we're seeing some rotation right here. We'll have to watch and see this play out here in just a minute. Waiting for the latest base velocity scan. So kind of looking at this is showing the lowest tilt here of winds moving towards the radar site and moving away from the radar site. So we'll have to wait and see here. I just turned off the warning real quick to see. Yeah, still seeing a little bit of rotation right here, a little bit of gate-to-gate shear right here near 165. I'm going to look at something that's just sent to me here. A lot of wind, and man, I tell you, I'm looking here at a video outside of New Middleton right now. I'm looking at a video just outside of New Middleton that was sent in, and that's kind of a generalized area of showing potentially some rotation there. I'm not sure what we're looking at entirely. Potentially a funnel cloud that was in that area. as well. But a lot of wind here, man, today. But in this general area, I could tell you, I'm starting to get perked up just a little bit because I haven't seen any type of rotation, an intense rotation, until just now. And sorry, the radar just seems like we're having radar issues today. I'm not sure why. There comes the latest flip scan. That's why. Well, hopefully. There it is. Come on. This area right here still is intriguing me. This generalized area rotation right here near 165, right along the Columbiana and Mahoning County border is very intriguing to me. Very intriguing to me. This don't have to worry about this. This is because the tornado warning box, polygon box, is shading it in red. But this general area right here is very intriguing to me on 165, right on the Columbiana Mahoning County line. Yeah, and that's murky too. Looking at what we call debris ball tracker, that's very murky as well. It was there, and now, as quick as it is there, it's gone, but we'll still continue to watch that right near 165. So this is going to be pushing off into Pennsylvania here in just a few minutes, but potentially we could have we could have had at least a funnel cloud here. It looks like in the Mahoning County area. Potentially, wouldn't be surprised here that we're seeing. We had one video that's come through thus far, kind of confirming some of this broad rotation, very broad, very rain wrapped rotation that we've been seeing. So again, you're not going to see a lot of this as far as tornadoes go today because of the rain wrap situation. But you need to respect that polygon, get to the lowest level of your house, and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This rotation is getting ready to push again off into Pennsylvania. Still riding right along the Columbiana Mahoning County line right now, right along 170. And is that right along 170, 617, I should say, 170, 165. But as that continues to push off here into Pennsylvania, it'll be out of our coverage area as well. And again, generalized thunderstorms you could see here on the backside as well. We do have didn't want to forget this, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for some of you down in the Mid-Ohio Valley. Sorry, I'm taking a roller coaster ride there, near New Cumberland and East Liverpool. So this one is due to some straight line winds that we're looking at and some hail that's potentially with this one as well. So don't want to forget about you down here in northeastern Jefferson County and Hancock County in West Virginia. Those are our two coverage area counties. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning here for you as this storm is continuing to push off here towards the east. And this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5:45, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Radar indicated winds at 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and $half size hail. So that's what we're seeing there for that. And it makes sense. You're seeing a lot of deep purples here. Not even a lot of lightning at all. Looking at the lightning tracker, not a lot of lightning whatsoever. With that, but some strong winds and potentially some hail there for some of our friends there coming into Hancock County of West Virginia and portions of Jefferson County in Ohio. Let's go ahead back up to our storm cells crossing into Pennsylvania right now. So let's go ahead and go back into our base velocity. Again, continuing to look at this generalized area here back towards 165. I know it's a little bit murky, but I go back to reflectivity. Just looked weird there for a second. Still looks a little weird. And I don't know if that's just picking up on a spike or what. But still, the generalized rotation has pretty much shifted now. And I'm not sure if we got a bad scan coming out of the National Weather Service or not. Go ahead and flip that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. There's what we want. Not a bad scan. There it is. Looking right here. Kind of what I've been saying here. The latest scan coming in here. Right here. That's what I wanted to see. Right here. So this generalized area, some rotation right in here is what we'll be looking at. The possibility of something that potentially is there. And this is moving very, very slowly. So right along the Mahoning and Columbiana County line is where we're looking at. And we're seeing the latest scan come in here. We're going to stay with you here for just a few more minutes. Latest scan is coming. It's sweeping here, I hope. Not sure what's causing that here today. We're seeing a lot of weird things. And this is pushed off here now into Pennsylvania. And the latest scan has just moved it ahead. And still seeing a lot of velocity here towards the back. They went ahead and dropped Columbiana County out on the latest scan due to the fact that it's pushed off in here into Pennsylvania. So what that tells us is most of the rotation now, this generalized area is now into Pennsylvania. So we are out of our coverage area. This one here for Mahoning County will drop at 5:15. Wouldn't be surprised if that drops early, to be 100% honest with you, based on Columbiana County just got dropped, and this cell has moved off into Pennsylvania. So with that being said, we're going to end live coverage. Do want to zoom out here just a little bit and show you we are tracking storms throughout the rest of eastern Ohio, I should say, multi-cell cluster type storms that we're seeing here today. We're continuing to see some of these produce some larger hail and maybe some strong winds. That's what's prompted a few severe thunderstorm warnings here down in the Mid-Ohio Valley. Really see a deep, dark hail core, really deep coming here into New Cumberland. Really dark purple here. So if you're in New Cumberland, they got $50 size hail on that. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up to about an inch or so just outside of New Cumberland, seeing a very deep, dark purple hail core there as well. And also looking at this, we're continuing to see some strong winds with this as well, moving right towards our terminal Doppler there outside of Pittsburgh. So be careful there if you're in Jefferson and Hancock County, West Virginia, and Jefferson County, Ohio. We're looking here on the eastern portion of that as well. You noticed here they did clear the tornado warning has been allowed to expire here for Columbiana County and Mahoning County. They went and allowed that to drop early. So we are tornado warning free. I know the ticker does not say, we don't have the ticker doesn't update as it should, but we are tornado warning free right now. So we're going to go ahead and cease coverage. We'll continue to monitor these storms. We'll continue to come back live as we need to throughout the evening hours. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Feel free to download our app if you want to. It is free from the App Store. Make sure you have a way to receive those warnings. You could download the Ohio News and Weather app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. Until next time, I want to say thank you for joining us here. And sorry, I keep clicking the wrong button. I'm going back to bed. I have COVID right now, so covering here this afternoon, going back to bed and clear my head just a little bit. So have a great afternoon, everyone. Talk to you soon, and stay